Most of the pliers on your pegboard that say Made in USA wouldn't survive 5 minutes of real scrutiny. Not because the company lied to you, because nobody ever asked the right questions. I did. Out of every plier brand sold in this country, exactly 4 survive all 3. There are 3 questions a pair of pliers has to pass to make this list. Miss 1, and you're out, no matter how good the tool is or how much I like it. Question 1. Who owns the company? Not where the tool was born. Who cashes the check today? Half the heritage American brands on that pegboard are line items on a balance sheet in Connecticut or Hong Kong. Question 2. Is it forged, and is it forged here? Forging means a bar of steel gets heated until it glows, then hammered between 2 dies until it takes the shape of a plier half. That hammering does something a machine can't fake. It lines up the grain structure of the metal with the shape of the tool. That's where the strength comes from, not from thickness, from grain flow. Question 3, and this is the one nobody checks. What does the label legally mean? In the summer of 2021, the Federal Trade Commission finalized something called the Made in USA labeling rule, which took effect that August. It lives at Title 16, Part 323 of the Code of Federal Regulations, and it's short enough to read in 5 minutes. To stamp Made in USA on a product with no qualifiers, 3 things have to be true. Final assembly or processing happens in the United States. All significant processing happens in the United States, and all or virtually all of the components are made and sourced in the United States, and it has teeth. As of January 2025, the maximum civil penalty is $53,088 per violation. Every mislabeled product, every catalog page, every web listing can count as its own violation. In January of 2024, Kubota paid a $2 million civil penalty to the FTC over Made in USA claims on replacement parts. Now here's why this matters to you in the store. Made in USA with global materials is a completely different, much weaker claim. It's legal, it's honest, technically, and it can mean the steel came from somewhere else. The forging came from somewhere else. And what happened here was grinding and packaging. One more thing. Let me correct something you've probably heard in a video just like this one. People say cheap import pliers are cast, poured into a mold, and that's why they fail. That's wrong, and it's the kind of wrong that gets repeated until everyone believes it. Cast steel pliers barely exist at any real scale. They'd crack the first time you leaned on them. Your $15 hardware store pliers are forged too. Same process, roughly the same hammer. The difference was never the forging. It's everything that happens after. The grade of steel that went into the die, whether anybody bothered to heat treat the jaws. Heat treatment is expensive and invisible, which makes it the first thing a cost accountant deletes, and whether the pivot was machined to a tolerance or just drilled. They're all forged. The good ones are the ones that got finished. Keep that in mind, because it's exactly what separates the 4 brands we're about to talk about from everything else on that shelf. Let's start with the one you've never heard of. In 1922, in Kansas City, Missouri, 2 brothers named Otto and Paul Froschel teamed up with a man named Henry J. Wilde and incorporated a company called the Wilde Drop Forge and Tool Company. The name tells you everything about what they intended to do. Otto was the idea guy. He'd been working in a scissor factory, of all places, and he got fixated on a problem with pliers. Every pair on the market had a straight nose. He figured out that if you angled the nose over by 32 degrees, you'd get more leverage at the working end. more grip out of the same hand strength. He was right. The United States Patent Office granted him patent number 1,800,447 for it. That angled nose is now standard on plier designs all over the world. In 1955, the family moved the whole operation from Kansas City to Hiawatha, Kansas, a town in the far northeast corner of the state, and they've been there ever since. The company is still privately held, and it's still run by the third and fourth generations of the founding family. And Hiawatha is a real forge. Raw steel goes in the door, it gets forged, pressed, straightened, sharpened, and polished in that building, and pliers, punches, chisels, pry bars, and scrapers come out the other end. Their catalog says it plainly on every page: manufactured and assembled in the USA, limited lifetime warranty. But here's the thing about Wilde that I did not expect to find, and it changes how you should look at the whole industry. Wilde's primary business isn't selling Wilde branded pliers, it's private labeling. They forge pliers in Kansas for other tool companies, for mass merchandisers, for original equipment manufacturers, and those tools go out the door wearing somebody else's name. Sit with that. There is a real chance that a pair of American forged pliers has passed through your hands, made in Hiawatha, Kansas, and you had no idea because the only name on the handle belonged to a company that has never forged anything. They also run a second line called Whitco, started in 1970. Same pliers, same steel, same heat treat. They just skip the polishing steps to bring the price down. Orange grips instead of red. If you want the tool without paying for the shine, that's the one. Wilde is the quietest company on this list by a mile. No marketing budget to speak of, no sponsored videos. They just keep forging. Which brings me to a company with the exact opposite problem. In 1857, a German immigrant blacksmith named Matthias Klein was working in Chicago when a telegraph lineman walked in with a broken pair of side-cutting pliers. Klein forged him a new half and riveted the tool back together. A few days later, the same lineman came back. The other half had snapped. So Klein made him a complete pair. That's the whole origin story. One repair job that turned into a company that's now in its sixth generation of the Klein family. If you've ever worked a job site, you already know that among electricians and linemen, Klein's isn't a brand name. It's the word for the tool. That's a genericized trademark, and you only earn one of those by being the default for about a century. Now, where do Kleins actually get made? This is where most people get it wrong, including the guy whose video probably sent you here. Klein's pliers are not forged in Texas. They're forged in Elk Grove Village, Illinois. That plant does one thing. It makes tool forgings out of Klein's own proprietary tool steel. Their VP of Marketing, Greg Pliers, has said it on the record. Klein has its own proprietary blend of American steel, and they forge it themselves in America. Those raw forgings then ship down to Mansfield, Texas, which is where the pliers, cable cutters, wire strippers, and construction wrenches get machined, heat-treated, assembled, and finished. And the numbers on that Texas operation are not small. Klein has put more than $200 million into Texas over the past decade. Their heat-treating plant in Mansfield runs 60,000 square feet, a building whose entire job is to harden steel. Pliers go in, get taken up to roughly 1,600 degrees, and the full cycle runs about 6 hours start to finish. The forgings themselves are held to 5/1000ths of an inch. Remember what I said in the last section? The forging isn't the hard part. The finishing is. Klein built a 60,000 square foot building to do nothing but the finishing. That's the whole argument in one fact. Chairman Thomas Klein has said the company employs roughly 1,200 people in the United States out of about 1,400 worldwide. Almost the entire company is here. They make more than 160 different types of pliers. Now let me give you the part Klein's own people say out loud, because I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Klein sources some products abroad. Pliers has said it directly. Like most global companies, they buy some things overseas. It's a minority of what they sell, and their pliers are the American core of the business. But if you buy a Klein product, check the specific tool. Don't assume the logo covers everything. That's an honest company telling you the truth about its own supply chain. Hold on to that, because the next brand is the one nobody talks about at all. Every list of American-made pliers you'll find online has the same 3 or 4 names on it, and this one is almost never among them, which is strange because Snap-on has been making hand tools in Milwaukee since 1980. Snap-on was founded in Milwaukee in 1920. It's headquartered up the road in Kenosha now, and it's an American-owned public company. You can look up the stock ticker yourself. It's on the New York Exchange. That matters for this list because it's the ownership test, and Snap-on passes it clean. The Milwaukee plant makes sockets, extensions, screwdriver blades, and pliers. That's not me guessing. That's straight out of Snap-on's own plant footage, where the company puts its own name on the claim. Roughly 350 people work in that building, and it runs through something on the order of 8 million pounds of steel a year. Now I'm going to do something you don't usually see in a video like this, and tell you where my research hit a wall. Klein publishes exactly which plant forges its steel. Channellock will tell you the grade of steel and the hardening process. Wilde prints it in the catalog. Snap-on is the most closed-off company on this list. They'll tell you the tools are made in Milwaukee, and I believe them, but they don't publish the forging details the way the other 3 do. So I'm telling you what's documented, and I'm not going to invent the rest. Snap-on makes pliers in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, from American steel, with American workers, under American ownership. That's the claim I can stand behind, and it's enough. There's also a reason you've never seen Snap-on on a Made in America shopping list, and it has nothing to do with the tools. It's the distribution. Snap-on doesn't sell to you through a pegboard at Home Depot. It sells out of a truck that pulls into a repair shop. If you're not a working mechanic, that truck has never stopped for you, and so the brand is functionally invisible to everyone else. Now hold that thought about distribution, about a tool that can't get in front of the people who'd buy it, because it's about to come back and kill somebody. But first, the big one. And finally, the last American-made pliers brand on this list is Channellock. In 1886, a blacksmith named George B. Dearment started hand-forging farrier's tools, the stuff you need to shoe a horse, and selling them out of the back of a wagon, town to town, in Evansburg, Pennsylvania. Not Meadville. You'll hear people say Meadville. The company didn't move there until 1904. His tools got a reputation fast. In August of 1902, an order came in from across the Atlantic. The Royal Horseshoer to King Edward VII wanted a full set. A blacksmith from rural Pennsylvania shoeing the king's horses. But the thing that made the company famous hadn't been invented yet. In 1933, Channellock's chief engineer, a man named Howard Manning, designed a tongue-and-groove slip-joint plier. The jaw could ride up and down a set of grooves, so one tool could grip a huge range of sizes. It got patented in 1934. The trademark, Channellock, was granted in 1949, and the name got so completely absorbed into the language that the company eventually just renamed itself after it. Same way you say Kleenex when you mean tissue. You don't say tongue and groove pliers, you say Channellocks. Today, that company is 140 years old, 2 plants in Meadville, 260,000 square feet, somewhere north of 300 people, depending on which year you ask, and it's one of the largest employers in the county. They forge over 75 types and sizes of pliers there out of C1080 high carbon steel, and they laser harden the cutting edges. That's the finishing step we talked about. That's the step that costs money. 2 things I want to be precise about, because I'd rather tell you now than have you find out in the comments. First, Channellock is still family-owned, but as of 2025, it's no longer family-run at the top. John D. Arment moved over to run manufacturing and engineering, and a man named Jimmy Bromley, who came up through the company as CFO, took the president's chair. William D. Arment is still chairman. The family still owns it. They just handed the day-to-day to a professional. That's not a scandal. It's what a lot of 140-year-old companies do to survive. But it's true, and I'm not going to sell you a fairy tale. Second, not everything with a Channellock label on it is American. Their pliers are Meadville made. Some of their screwdrivers and ratchet wrenches have come from Canada, Taiwan, or China. Read the tool, not the brand. That's the 4. Wilde in Kansas. Klein Forging in Illinois and finishing in Texas. Snap-on in Milwaukee. Channellock in Meadville. 4 American-owned companies forging pliers on American ground, except I've been holding something back. So here's twist number 1. In 2022, a company opened a brand new hand tool plant in West Bend, Wisconsin. $55 million, 95,000 square feet, about 150 workers. Not reopened. New. A new American forge built from dirt in the 2020s, and the first products it made were screwdrivers and pliers. The lead forge operator, Ted Galbraith, told Milwaukee's NPR station he'd worked at plants where the work bled overseas. It was good to see it come back the other way for once. The tools are American steel, laser hardened, hit shelves in mid-2023, and sit at Home Depot right next to Klein at basically the same price. The company is Milwaukee Tool. Milwaukee Tool is owned by Tektronic Industries, headquartered in Hong Kong. The heritage American names, Irwin, Vice Grip, Crescent, Craftsman, sent their forging overseas. A Hong Kong-owned company built a $55 million forge in Wisconsin and hired Americans to run it. That's why Milwaukee isn't one of the 4. It fails the ownership test and passes the manufacturing test. The story was never foreign companies versus American companies. It's about who's willing to pay for a forge. And some of the people willing to pay for one right now aren't American, which makes what happened in Nebraska so much worse. Twist number 2. Vice grips, the locking pliers, were invented in DeWitt, Nebraska, by a Danish immigrant blacksmith named William Peterson, patented in 1924 and made there for more than 80 years. DeWitt is a town of about 500 people. In 2008, Newell Rubbermaid moved production to China. 330 jobs gone in a town that size. Not a layoff, a town-sized wound. The building sat empty for a decade. Then, in 2016 and 2017, Malco Products out of Annandale, Minnesota, bought the plant and reopened it in 2018. In 2021, the first full run of American-made locking pliers rolled out again under a new name, Eagle Grip. By May 2021, they had about 60 workers, some of whom had worked there under Vice Grip. The tools were good enough that reviewers rated them at or above the originals, and Snap-on had Malco supply locking pliers for them under an equipment agreement. A dead factory brought back, making something people agreed was excellent. In late 2022, Malco announced they were exiting. They hadn't seen the demand to keep the line viable, said CEO Rich Benninghoff, and it didn't align with the company's core focus. 63 workers laid off. 3 offered a Minnesota transfer. In May 2023, liquidators auctioned off the equipment from the 500,000 square foot plant. Same town, same building, 15 years apart, twice. Here's the part that should actually make you angry. It didn't die because Americans stopped caring about American tools. It died because of a shelf. Eagle Grip barely existed in physical stores. People had to order online, so it lived and died in Amazon search results. There, an Eagle Grip locking plier sat in the mid-30s, with an Irwin Vise grip, same original name, now made in China, under Stanley Black and Decker. For less than half that, one click away. That's not patriotism. That's a distribution failure. The tool never got the chance to be chosen. Twist number 3. Ask any mechanic or electrician which pliers are the best in the world, and a lot of them will say Knipex. Knipex is not American. It never was. Founded in 1882 in Kronenberg, now part of Wuppertal, Germany, by Carl Gustav Puch in the cellar of his own house, with 1 journeyman and 2 apprentices. For most of the next century, the company was literally named the C. Gustav Puch Drop-Forged Pliers Works. Still independent, still family-owned, 4th generation, run by Rolf Puch, the founder's great-grandson, since 1996. Never sold to private equity, never offshored. Today, somewhere between 1,600 and 1,800 people work at Knipex in Wuppertal, producing more than 60,000 pliers a day, over 60% exported to more than 100 countries. Their workers fall under Germany's Metal and Electrical Industry Union Agreement. Their North American arm runs out of Buffalo Grove, Illinois, which is exactly why so many Americans assume it's a domestic brand. The easy lesson is, the Germans just didn't sell out. Too simple. The DeArmonts and the Kleins didn't sell out either. Knipex survived because it operated inside a different system, a protected home market, a deep apprenticeship pipeline, no private equity debt load forcing a 5-year exit. It's not that Germany had better people, it's that Germany had a better system for keeping a forge alive. That's the uncomfortable version. It's also the true one. If this was worth your time, subscribe. I'm working my way through the American tool industry, one category at a time, and the wrench story might be worse than this one.